Hey, welcome back. I am Connor. Most of you guys know me as the Stoner Doom guy. A little bit about Fuzzed and Buzzed. As you know, that is my record label. We have some amazing releases coming out and shows. One that came out March 10th, the international release for Witchrot's Live in the Hammer. And following this killer release, we are making an experimental documentary that has old Hamilton footage intertwined with live in the studio footage of Witchrot. That is something you guys need to check out. So you can check out the Fuzz and Buzz social medias to find out more. This week, I'm reviewing one of my all-time favorite Stoner Doom bands. The album I am reviewing is one of my favorite bands, Acid King, and their new record in 8 years, Beyond Vision. On a sort of newer label, sort of new, not really, Blues Funeral Recordings, out March 24th. Acid King are a three-piece Stoner Doom band hailing from San Francisco, California. A little bio about Acid King here. Acid King gets their name from pretty ridiculous murders by a gentleman named Ricky Casso who murdered his friends on hallucinogenic drugs. Okay. On the band's first debut EP, they actually have his face in the name Acid King. So Acid King was formed by legendary guitarist Laurie S. Laurie is now the only original member of this band, and they've been around for 30 years. And this is their 30th year, their first album in 8 years. So I think we should just get this review underway, shall we? You know, members change here and there, but having one consistent member throughout the whole 30 years of your career, that says a lot. And being a band like Acid King, having a very iconic sound from the album Bus Woods going into these other crazy records. It's really cool that this record here was supposed to be an instrumental record. I find that is very special for a band who's been known for having very low vocals, very slow guitar tones. And this record here, they're really just changing everything, but sticking to that same formula of the consistent guitar tones, the consistent low bass and the heavy drumming. It all meshes in and really makes it a traditional, a very iconic Acid King record. So let's talk about that album art and the packaging. Being a label head myself, I think packaging and artwork is key to any record of all records. A big shout out to Martin Donder, Mr. Donder. He did the album artwork for Beyond Vision and another record in this whole Blues Funeral Recordings, the Dead Meadow record. Having those two records side by side, it would look absolutely beautiful. Like I said, being a label head, packaging is extremely important, and especially in the Stoner Doom scene, I find packaging is the next big thing. I find more people are interested in what the packaging looks like than sort of what the album sounds like. Obviously, the music on the record is important, but having that physical copy, especially a vinyl copy, it makes a huge difference. And a big shout out to Blues Funeral. Jad, I don't know if you guys know about Jad. Jad was a label head in the early 90s. He owned a record label called Meteor City, who started off releasing records for Atomic Bitchwax, some early Dead Meadow stuff. The list goes on, right? So Jad really has an idea of what, packaging should look like. And something really special about this release is a part of a post-wax series. So a post-wax series is you pay however much money, and it's a mail subscription. So you get 7 to 8 records throughout the year, and these records come with crazy different covers. I saw the Acid King record comes with a board game, cool etchings. How many labels are doing that? I really don't know how many labels are doing stuff like this, but Blues Funeral. So huge shout out to them with this post-wax series. I can't get over how phenomenal this is. You guys should send me one. So So when I first dove into this Acid King record, I was like, holy moly. First record in 8 years? Is this going to sound like Bustwood, middle of nowhere, center of everywhere, Acid King 3? I literally had no idea, but I was sort of expecting it to sound the same. So when I dived in, it was getting trippy. And I love my trippy stuff, but I feel like these changes in the drone, it might have been a bit too trippy for me. I think these changes are like pretty heavy. And I really wasn't expecting it to be sort of, holy shit, am I on acid right now? Did I take some Ricky Casso angel dust? I have no idea. But this record just, you know, it was screaming to be an instrumental record, and part of me like really wants it to be an instrumental record, but another part of me is like, it should just be classic Acid King. You know, I feel like they're sort of on the fence of wanting to be instrumental and wanting to be classic Acid King. And it's cool to be on that fence, you know, like this band has been around for 30 years. Like I said, they can do whatever they want. And this record really proves that they can really break the barrier and make an actual psych doom record. I wouldn't call this metal at all. This is straight up psych doom. And the change, to me, seems a bit too heavy. There should be a finer line of, you know, the psych and with the doom and with the instrumental, but it was, you know, it was a great shot. And let's see what happens in the next 8 years, or hopefully sooner than that, for their next record. However, listening to this record front to back, it honestly sounds like one long song. You know, sort of like Dope Smoker, that's an hour and 7 minutes long. This could have been an hour and 10 minutes long. You know, getting their inspiration from 2001 Space Odyssey and Apollo 11 doc, you know that this record is absolutely just front to back crazy. All the songs intertwine. There is really no real dead space between songs, and that's what I really like. The end of Mind's Eye goes right into the next song, and the next song after that goes right into the next song. Everything is carried through, and that's what I love about this. It's not a record that you'd want to shuffle at all. You know, I know a lot of people like shuffling records when they get them. No, this record is a front to back listen, and that's how this record is intended to be listened to. Front to back, the flow of this is just absolutely, you know, it's like riding a skateboard down the sidewalk, right? You're just like surfing away. And that's what I love about this record, and intended to listen to with headphones. That was something that I love. I'm not really a headphone guy, but listening to this with headphones, you really hear everything, and you really hear where everything is placed. And like I said, the flow of this, dude, get on a board and start listening. So, you know, this record rocked, right? But I found myself getting lost. You know, the first song, I was like, whoa, like this is really different. Getting into the last song, I was like, is this over yet? You know, this record sort of had me fading out at the end. You know, it's a great sandwich with the instrumental parts on the top and the bottom and the lyrics in the middle, but I find the buns on the top and the bottom are a bit too soggy for me. I think they could have added a bit more lyrics here and there on the first and last song, especially the last song. It just fades out, and it isn't catching me as much as I'd like. And, you know, they've been around for however long. I've said it a million times. They've been around for 30 years. Are they allowed to do that? Of course. Do I like it? Not so much. Even though I had a couple things I didn't like about this record, you know, I did really like it. You know, I thought the sandwich tasted great. It sounded great. Something really cool about this record is they used a 2-inch tape from somebody in the Grateful Dead. They gave it to them for recording. Like, how many bands can say that they use a tape from the Grateful Dead? Like, that's pretty damn cool. You know, I think it's really important that this band came back and made a new record. You know, they've been around for 30 years, first album in 8 years, and I think this record will be on a lot of people's top 10 of this year. This record is extremely important, and extremely important for Acid King. It's something that they've never done before. The whole sound of this record hasn't been done. Overall, I'd give this record 4.3 tabs of Ricky Casso acid out of 5. That's a lot. That's a heavy trip, dude. All right, now it's time for some shoutouts. First up, we have Faerie Ring, Weary Traveler, coming out April 14th on King Volume Record. You see that? You guys need to buy this. This record kicks absolute ass. This is their sophomore record. It has a lot of like heavy stoner doom vibes. It's a bit more upbeat. It has a bit of metal vibes, as you can tell from the cover, like the title Faerie Ring. These guys are very dear friends of mine. They kick absolute ass. It's a record that's going to be on everyone's top 10 this year, especially mine. I think you guys should really check that out. Great stoner doom rock and roll psych vibes. Up next, you know, getting a little sweaty talking about this record here. I'm so excited. We have Blood Ceremony in their first record in 7 years. It's on Rise Above Records, and the album title is called The Old Ways Remain. So here is the exclusive album cover for Blood Ceremony's new record, The Old Ways Remain. This is an exclusive. Nobody has seen it yet. This is a BangerTV exclusive. Thank you so much for Blood Ceremony for letting us post this album. Thank you, Lee Dorian. You guys rock. So that concludes this review. Tell me what you like in the comments below. Tell me what you didn't like. Check out the Acid King record. Keep your ears on the ground for the Faerie Ring and the Blood Ceremony record. You know where to find me on social medias. You know where to find Banger on social medias. So you guys do your thing. Rock and roll.